channel. So today I have done a 3 looks 1 palette with the core of the Sirens from Gourmande Girls. This is their newest release. I did get the bundle, so I do have the Mermaid Magic cheek palette here as well. I was just going to do a first impressions. I did a first impressions for my members and I was just going to upload that for all of you to see where I just do 1 look. I'm going to include that 1 look in this video, and I've just done 2 extra looks because I wasn't very satisfied with the first look. I'm going to be honest with you. In the video, I was very happy with it. But then like looking back at the footage and editing, I was like, I could do better than that. I mean, I was just too excited. I think I was too excited to go into this palette. I received it about a week ago and I've just decided to do 2 extra looks. So we've got 3 looks for this palette. It is a first impressions. I will do a voiceover for all 3 looks. And yeah, I guess we'll just go into it, right? And then I'll give you my thoughts at the end of the video. Before we get into it though, I didn't share. This is what the eyeshadow palette looks like if you're not familiar. It is really pretty. It's going to be on Monolith, I think in a few days time, at the time that I'm posting this. It's not there yet, but it's going to be in their newest release. I did see that. And obviously if you're in the US, you can already buy this because I did buy it, unfortunately, and I paid for customs and everything, but this is the cheek palette. Very beautiful. But yeah, I feel like I've gone into almost everything in this video. So hopefully you can see how it all performs, and then it's not really a review style video at all, but I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, so I decided to go into the shade Fairy. I really wanted to have a pink look. It definitely did not end up the way I wanted it to, but the shade was fine. I put it all over the lids, performed beautifully. Then went into Unicorn. And I just deepened out the outer corner just ever so slightly. I mean, I already like went off track because I was going to do a halo for this eye. And then once I started filming, I completely forgot what I was doing. And then we went into Elixir of Life, and yeah, it's very chunky. I was so excited to go into this shade, and I think I just let myself, you know, just enjoy the sparkle and the shine. I'd already done my base though, so it does end up getting everywhere because it is ultra flaky, but it's pretty. It is a pretty shade, but very messy. Then went to Spellcaster, which at this point I didn't really know where to put it because that other shade kind of took where I was going to put this. So I just put it next to it. This is a lot smoother of a shade, and it smoothed out a lot of the textured sort of, like my lid became very textured after I put the Lash shade on, so that smoothed it out a little bit. Anyway, went into Lorelei. Again, didn't know where to put this. I was just playing. I was having fun. At this point, didn't know what I was doing. So, okay, we went back into Elixir of Life, and you can see it starting to get everywhere. But I put this in my inner corner because why not? You know, just wanted to put it everywhere. Okay, went into Undersea. This was really pretty, but I ended up putting it here, which I kind of regret. Okay, then we went into Femme, which was the dark plum shade. I guess I didn't show it. Okay, moving on to the cheek palette. I did a combination between the lilac and the pink blush, and it was pretty lightweight. Like in terms of the lilac shade, it wasn't super pigmented, so I was able to brush it on and not go too heavy-handed with this one, which I really enjoyed. Went into this blue highlighter. This was beautiful on, like, I swatched it, it was beautiful, but on the cheeks, I wouldn't recommend it. As you can see, it's not really the greatest product to put on the cheeks for sure. Okay, then went into this one. I put this one like sort of underneath my inner corner, and I did like how this turned out. I thought this completed the look because again, I didn't really like putting that Undersea under my eyes, but generally it was messy, and yeah, this is how it turned out. It was fine. Okay, the second look, I really enjoyed the second look. So I went into the brown shade, which is called Seahorse, and I kind of ended up doing somewhat of a halo in terms of my placement, but not really. I just kind of put it obviously in the outer corner and the inner corner, and spent some time deepening it up a little bit, but obviously I've cut that. Went into the shade Bewitch. I kind of wanted this to pop. I thought this was quite interesting. I had swatched this, and I really wanted this to just be the focus of the look because it was really quite beautiful, and obviously it pairs really nicely with the brown, so kind of just wanted these to mesh well together, and I really liked how this look turned out, honestly. Okay, went into Menagerie, so this kind of added like a grunginess to the look, which I really enjoyed. It's almost like, you know, when copper gets all rusted and it's, I don't know, it just reminds me of metal and copper and rust, but on my eyes. And I thought it was really pretty at the end of the day and kind of grungy, and definitely a look that I think I will redo after going into this palette. Okay, went into this shade, and this was pigmented. I was not expecting this one. This one I think is the most pigmented out of the blush products. So really enjoyed this one. This was called Seashell, and it's definitely more of a wearable shade for me as well. I really like this one and the pink one I think the best. The lilac is fine, it just doesn't show up too much, so you have to like build it up. Went to Lagoon, and I put this in my inner corner because I wanted the eye look to be a little bit more interesting, and we're pretty much almost done here. What else am I doing? I forgot. Oh wait, yeah, we're going into the strand. Okay. I tried again. I put it on my cheeks again. It's just too glittery. Look at it. It's just, there's too much fallout, too glittery. It's just not a cheek product. That's fine. It's fine. But yeah, love this eye look. You let me know, but I really enjoyed it. It was very easy to do as well. Alright, last look, we went into, what's the shade called? Moonlight. And I put this all over the lids. And I figured, well, I haven't done a very green bluey look yet, so let's do that. So we went into Lagoon, and I did a little bit of a wing, but I think at the end of the day, you don't really see it when I do my finished look. Went into Undersea, so I'd already gone into this obviously in the first look, but I wanted this to really be the focal point of this look, and so I put it pretty much all over the lids. You can see it's quite a thick shade. It's not as thick as Elixir of Life, but it is a little bit of a messier shade, and one that I would definitely recommend you use before your base. So to blend everything in, I went into Sea Nymph just to tidy this up a little bit. Then I went to Spellcaster, and I put this in the inner corner part of my lid, and this turned a really nice sort of yellowy green. I really enjoyed how this paired nicely with the Moonlight and the Undersea shade. Alright, and then I wanted to put some pink underneath because why not? So I went back into that fairy shade, put NYX glitter glue underneath, and then I went into Elixir of Life, which is that really glittery shade, because I wanted it still to sort of pop, and I didn't want it to go all over my face. Then we went into Starfish. I'm not sure I really needed to do this, but I just put it under my lower lash line, and I did actually end up going into a black eyeliner and put that in my lower lash line, waterline. And then obviously went into the pink blush again. And this was the final look. All right, there we go. As you can see, I changed the lipstick. I did pop on some like bright lipstick for this final look, and I thought, you know, it's too much. It's taking away too much from the eye look, and yeah, I didn't really like it, so I changed it. But let me know what you think. I think that the second and the third, I mean, I like all three looks, but I think just in terms of like overall like how much I enjoyed doing them, I preferred the second and the third look. I think the first look, I was too excited to go into the palette, and what I had wanted to do, which was really a look between these two, I kind of failed because I ended up getting sidetracked and starting to just try everything. So the first look was definitely a play. Like, let's just try to put everything on my eyes and make it work. It looked pretty, but it was messy, right? It wasn't very cohesive. And I did like end up going over other shades and not really showing the full impact of certain shades. What I will say is this is a really pretty palette. It's the same formula and quality that I have from the Peach Perfect. The only thing that's different is this shade is very, 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 very flaky and chunky and a little bit different to any of the other shades that they have in the other palette. I haven't tried all their palettes. This is only the second palette that I've tried from Gourmande Girls. I do think they probably have this type of shade in other palettes. I just don't have them. But yeah, that's just something to note. The rest of these are beautiful. Mattes are the same kind of quality that I would expect based off of the other palette that I have. They don't have a lot of kick up. They don't have a lot of fallout. They're very easy to use. So that was a delight. I don't really have any negatives to say about this palette other than if you don't like flaky shades, this is going to go everywhere. So probably do your eyes first and then your base. But otherwise, the only other thing that I would say about this palette is that I kind of hoped that while I was doing the 3 different looks, in my mind, I was hoping that it had a lighter matte. I think it's missing a lighter matte in this palette just to add a little bit more of versatility to looks and add a little bit more contrast, or if you want like a matte in your inner corner. There's nothing there, or a lighter shimmer that maybe is like a white, you know, multi-chrome, you know, one of those that shifts either purple or pink or blue, just something that's maybe iridescent. I think that would been really fun to have. And then maybe it can replace one of these darker shades or maybe one of these oranges. So I don't think you need both, but there's definitely a couple of shades in here that I think could have been replaced by something a little bit lighter, just for my preference. It is quite a dark palette. And obviously I picked it up because I love the color story. There was something about the color story that I was like, I have to try that. There's a lot of Gourmande Girl palettes that I have enjoyed from afar and been like, oh, that looks so pretty, but I won't buy it. Oh, that looks so pretty, but I won't buy it. This is the only one I was like, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that. And I did. And I should have waited for Monolith because, as I said, I pay for customs and shipping and all that. But I'm happy that I have it. Obviously, I've done the 3 different looks. There's been no issues with this palette whatsoever. I think in hindsight, it would have been nice to have 1 or 2 other different shades in here, but I could just go into different palettes for that reason. So in a sense, this is going to be a palette that I most likely will have to grab another palette when I want something a little bit brighter and lighter. But having said that, I've done 3 different looks and I think they're all quite pretty. I did end up going into this palette. Obviously, I've tried all 3 of the cheek palette, the cheek products at this point, like the blushes. The only one that I would say is a little bit less pigmented is this lilac one. It didn't show up too much, but these other 2, very pigmented, very, very pigmented, beautiful. I am very, very pleased with the blush formula. The highlighters, I would not put them on my cheeks. I did obviously in this video. You can see in the second look, it was so glittery. I didn't put it on this look because I was like, there's no point. I tried the blue one, the first look, and then this one in the second look. I was like, I don't need to do it anymore. I'll just use it for my eyes and my inner corner because I think that's kind of what they are supposed to be. I mean, they are just really, really beautiful, but I just don't think that they belong on the cheeks, which is fine. I mean, it's fine, but yeah, very, very happy that I have this palette, that I tried it. But if you're just going to buy the cheek palette, I do think it's a little pricey for what you get, especially because I don't think these are very wearable on the cheeks. But if you're buying it just to have additional eyeshadows to put on your eyes, then that's fine. But it is almost like the same price as the eyeshadow palette, I believe. So I'm happy that I have it because I have 3 extra blush in my collection. Not that I need it by any means, but there's just things in mind that I noticed while doing these 3 different looks if you are thinking of buying it. But yeah, is it a palette that I regret buying? Absolutely not. Obviously, this is not supposed to be a review video, but I can't help like giving my thoughts and opinion about it. And I know that I just spoke about overconsumption and not buying new makeup and like having videos just about new makeup, and this is a new makeup release. So I completely understand the irony of it, but I did buy this in April. I just received it. I wanted to do a video. I wanted to share my looks. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know which different looks you liked. If you liked any of them, are you picking it up? Are you waiting for it to come to Monolith? As I said, I just saw it come this weekend. I think it's going to be available. So you could potentially try it. There's so many nice juicy things coming to Monolith, but I can't buy them. I can't buy them. I'm on officially a no buy at this point. Yeah, I can't buy anymore at this point. I have bought other stuff that is in the mail. I haven't received it, but I can't be buying more. So If I do, slap me, yell at me, please. But anyway, let me know what you think of the video. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you next time in my next video. Bye.